Hi, Gemini and Gemini Rising. Here is your horoscope for May 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, we have a very eventful May. Now that we have no planets in retrograde and things are moving forward, there's definitely an energy in the air that feels so much better than the first 4 months of the year. Now, your ruler your ruler Mercury has been going through Aries along with Venus, starting off the month in Aries. As you notice, there's 3 planets in Aries plus Chiron. And by the 24th, Saturn will leave Pisces and go into Aries as well. So you'll have a lot of planets in this 11th house that are going to be activated this month. This is the house that represents community. It represents affiliations with organizations, acquaintances, friendships, socializing. So this is going to be the general theme here for the month of May. So if you're a rising sign in Gemini, or if you have a sun sign in Gemini, this reading is for you. Again, it's a very general overview using tropical whole house, Western astrology, sun sign reading. And so, but it also pertains to the rising sign. So again, it's going to be about 75-80% accurate, depending on where these alignments are in your chart. But we definitely have a much better month energetically because of Mars also being in Leo in your 3rd house of communication. So this month is absolutely filled with lots of communication, or a need for communication. Now, the second half of the month is really your time of the year because the sun will move into Gemini, but we also have a new moon in Gemini, and we have Mercury, your ruler, that's going to be in Gemini. So the second half of the month looks really good for many of you. And so, the whole month is really not that bad at all. And it's definitely, pointing you in a new direction, or possibly new people that are coming into your life. And so this is the general theme that I'm seeing here, okay? And there could be some surprises in the mix as well towards the end of the month, and I'll get into that as well. So we start off the month with Jupiter continuing to go through your sign, right there in the 1st house of identity and self. So many of you guys are either love to travel, explore, express yourself, feeling more fortunate these days than you have been. And then Jupiter will leave this part of your chart in June. It'll go into your 2nd house of income and values, which is going to switch gears, and we'll focus on that next month, but it's still quite beneficial. So this month is really a month where you're setting the stage for major changes to come into June. All right, so we start off the month with Venus in Aries right there, and it's going to be very closely aligned to Neptune right on the 2nd, as a matter of fact. So the 1st and the 2nd, Venus is in Aries, which is a bit impulsive. It's restless. I want it now. I want the relationship now. I want things now, because the Aries energy is impulsive. And so with Venus going through the 11th house, you are looking towards the future with relationships, with financial matters, with acquaintances, organization affiliations, and so on. And then on the 2nd, when it goes together with Neptune, there could be a very interesting dynamic here, because Venus and Neptune together can be imagination, fantasy, illusion, strong psychic ability. But it's in the 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams for the future. And so maybe there is a friendship that develops into something more, more of a romantic setting. Maybe there's an affiliation with an organization or a charity that you've been helping out at, and maybe it's time to go, okay? Because the energy of Neptune can dissolve matters as well. So maybe you're giving your time to a charity, and you're done with that part of your, that part of your job. And so it could be any of this stuff. But whatever it is, it's a fiery Aries energy. And so it works well for Gemini and Gemini rising. So again, it does show me lots of socializing, interactions, being around people. Maybe you're around spiritual people or metaphysical people in some way. And so this is going to be very important, okay? But Venus will continue to go through here for about 6 weeks until it switches signs in I believe it's the end of May or the beginning of June, and then goes into Taurus in the 12th house. But we'll focus on that next month. So this looks really good and beneficial for all kinds of acquaintances, friendships, relationships, and organizational, things that you're going to be working on. Now, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius on the 4th. There it is in stationary position. Not really a big deal because Pluto goes retrograde half of the year anyway because it's so far away from the sun. But a retrograde Pluto has sort of a subconscious feeling to it, like things are changing subtly. I'm not sure where I'm going because it's in Aquarius, which is humanity, and it's about the future. The 9th house and Aquarius both represent the future. And so you're really pondering your belief systems, your understanding of the universe, your understanding of your the way you fit into things, religious beliefs, philosophical beliefs, government beliefs. All of that stuff is going to be on the table during this retrograde. Okay, again, it'll be a very subtle sort of feeling like, maybe I need to change my mind. And Geminis love to change their minds. So you're going to have this also to contend with. As far as traveling goes, it's, take you back in time. Maybe you're going to travel someplace you've been before, because this is about the past. And so this retrograde will last, I believe, until October. So you'll have plenty of time to figure things out, but it's a very subtle energy, like I said, as opposed to the inner planets, Mercury and Venus and Mars. Those we feel more, stronger. So, okay, so we have Mercury, and speaking of Mercury, your ruler, enters Taurus on the 10th and the 11th, right there, on the 11th. And so now it enters your 12th house. And this is the house of secrets. This is the house of quiet time. This is a house of spirituality. This is the doorway to these other realms of consciousness. So Mercury in Taurus is really about slowing down and enjoying the simple things in life. Like a nice meal or a walk in the park or doing some gardening work or whatever. And so Mercury in Taurus is a little bit slower. It is more laid back. And for the next 3 weeks or so, it'll be going through this 12th house. Just having you focus on, the pleasure and things that are basic, okay? And that's what you need to focus on, okay? Because, you're one of the signs that sometimes likes to run around all the time. And so now Mercury is saying, let's slow down a little bit. Let's enjoy the next 3 weeks. And so this is giving you an opportunity to do that, all right? Now, the full moon in Scorpio on the 12th will light up the 6th house of health and service to others. This also pertains to pets, your daily routine. And it's going to be in Scorpio at 22 degrees, so wherever that is in your actual birth chart. And it'll be up against the sun and Uranus right there at 22 degrees. So this is where the surprises come in because Uranus is in the mix and opposing the moon. So this could be something to do with job. This could be something to do with health. This could be something to do with your daily routine. This could have something to do with your pets. And it's a realization. Full moons are realizations. They sometimes can represent endings, but they're culminations of energy that are running their course. They're running their cycle. And so here we see the 12th and the 6th house, which are both about health and well-being. One is the mental, spiritual well-being. The other one is the physical well-being. And so we have this energy at play here during this time. So maybe there's a situation at work that's no longer working for you. Maybe there's a routine for your health that's not working for you. Maybe you need to change your diet. All of that stuff is going to be on the table during this full moon in Scorpio. It's a deep, very profound awareness or revelation. And it's causing change because Uranus is conjunct the sun. And so this is going to be, I need to innovate. I need to do something different. I am done doing this, and this. And it could pertain to a job as well. So that's how the energy is going to start moving there. Now, the sun conjunct Uranus exactly on the 17th and 18th. So here we have a very profound alignment. It's going to be in Taurus, in the 12th house. The 12th house is a very psychic house. It's the doorway to these other realms. So I would suggest May the 17th and 18th and even the 19th, pay attention to your dreams, your visions of the future, premonitions. Anything to do with psychic ability is going to be enhanced because this could bring in big surprises, where you wake up one morning and go, you know what? I need to go here. I need to do this. I need to change this. And it's going to automatically just happen because you're so in the flow with this energy that's being activated here. Anything with Uranus is about breaking through. And so here we see some major energy with the creativity of the sun and the innovation and breakthrough power of Uranus. that is forcing you to go in a new direction or come to some sort of realization in your life. Now everything starts to move after the 21st because the sun enters Gemini in your first house of self. We also have, we'll get back to Saturn in a second, Mercury entering Gemini right there, and we have a new moon in Gemini. So talk about a strong, powerful energy right now. Jupiter is there. The new moon is there. Mercury, your ruler, is there. And so from the 21st on, it really looks good for many of you. So you guys are going to be like, getting a lot of attention, needing to communicate, express yourself, starting something new, reinventing yourself, taking charge of your life, whatever it is. Because the new moon is going to activate that 2-week period where it kind of gives you that spark to get going, to start something new that you're really passionate about. So whether it's writing a book, whether it's taking a long drive, buying a new car, whatever it is, this is going to inspire many of you to do that. Okay? So now this one I want to talk about, this is going to be very important because Saturn is going to enter Aries as well. So we already have Neptune there. Now Saturn is going to enter there. So the last time Saturn was in Aries was in like 1996. So think back then what was going on in your life. Saturn in Aries can bring in some restrictions. It can bring in a need to work hard, because Saturn limits. But it does it, in a hard way in order for us to learn lessons. It's in Aries, so it's about the self-awareness, self-recognition. And it's going to be closely aligned, not perfectly aligned, but with Neptune, which is about creativity. So these two together can be very creative, no doubt about it. In the 11th house, it's about the future. Maybe you're changing jobs and you're going to a larger organization. Maybe you're becoming a personal trainer. You see, that's how this Aries energy is going to be activated under Saturn. You might become more disciplined, where you want to help other people in a different way. Maybe you're focusing on marketing or doing something like becoming independent, and having your own business. Maybe you're becoming a graphic artist of some kind where you need concentration and focus. And so this is going to be very important as it makes its way through your 11th house, next 2.5 years. Bringing in opportunity, but also bringing in some restriction in order for you to overcome them. It's just how Saturn works. And so this could have to do with friendships, organizations, charities, communities at large. So there's going to be some changes that are going to occur here over the next 2.5 years with Saturn making its way through the 11th. Okay? But fortunately, both Neptune and Saturn are going to make some really positive alignments to Pluto in 2026, which is going to open up new doorways for many of you. All right? So there is the general overview. If you want to know more, as you could see here, I do an extended version of this reading in my Inner Circle community. I also do the weekly astrology there. The members really seem to enjoy it. A lot of people, comment on it. And then, of course, I teach astrology. There's a whole 6-module course in the community. And, I do the Zoom calls every Sunday, which the members really enjoy. They get to ask me questions or they send me their charts ahead of time. And, I answer questions for them, help them out. And so consider joining. There's a free 7-day trial, so you got really nothing to lose. I left the link down below. Anyway, have a great month, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.